Well, the Edmonton Oilers fall 2-0 to the Florida Panthers. 3-0 to the Florida Panthers in Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Final. Game 1 going to the home side, despite Edmonton having a strong performance, a couple of mistakes, and the Oil end up down 1-0 3-0 your final as well. Hey, everybody, welcome to the GCL Diesel Oil Stream post-game show, live on location at Hudsons Bourbon St, West Edmonton Mall. The crowd leaving here, it was an amped-up crowd here at Hudsons, and disappointed indeed. Yeah. Of course, text us, 780-218-9999. Get into the nasty chat. Let us know your thoughts on Edmonton's Game 1 loss, 3-0 to the Florida Panthers. Tom Gazzola, Shawn Belle, Zachticum with you for the post-game show. Of course, GCL Diesel, Edmonton's diesel fuel system specialists and providers of critical engine components for over 50 years. All right, Bellezy, let's get some first thoughts from you.
Okay.
Don't give it all away, but initial thoughts. I know you've been kind of keeping tabs on reaction from people and listeners and the audience and fans of the Oilers, certainly, but your just first impressions of that Game 1 loss tonight.
It wasn't as bad as you all think.
Fair enough. It wasn't as bad as you all think.
Well, actually, let me rephrase that.
Okay.
Some think, because there's actually a lot of positive comments in the nasty chat. Hey, at the end of the day, they played well.
They did
put
play
up
well.
A ton of shots. They carried the play for a large majority of the game. It is what it is. They lost the game. There is two teams that play. They made two mistakes, Tommy. They made two mistakes.
And it cost them 3-0. The Oilers fall to the Florida Panthers in Game 1. Let's get into the scoring summary and the game stats from tonight. Carter Verhaeghe opened things up. His 10th of the postseason from Sasha Barkov and Sam Reinhart at 3:59. First shot of the game.
Well, it's a situation where, it's a 3-on-3. Well, it's a 3-on-2 with back pressure. They're trying to squeeze, basically meaning they're trying to create 3 one-on-ones.
Okay.
So Darnell Nurse shifts over. He tries to play that quick one-on-one. He pops it to the middle to Barkov. CC is coming across. He's a hair too late.
Okay.
He needs to be right on top of him. But the back-checking forward wasn't there. He quit skating. He's got to continue skating. He's got to make sure that he's right on top of Verhaeghe, because what happens being a split second late is Barkov has the time to make that quick play, which he does to Verhaeghe.
Yep. Across
Road, making the goaltender move, and it's a tap-in. Most NHL guys are going to score on a cross-ice tap-in, so it's that was a tough goal to give up.
All right, that was Carter Verhaeghe's 10th of the postseason at 3:59. All right, we go to the second period now. If the Oilers were down 1-0, Evan Rodriguez gets his 4th of the playoffs from Sam Bennett and Brandon Montour at 2:16. Another early strike for the Panthers. Edmonton was buzzing. After the Verhaeghe goal, Edmonton was buzzing. After the Rodriguez goal, Edmonton was buzzing. And then I heard it here at Hudson's Bourbon St. A lot of people, Nurse. There was a Nurse -2. And I keep seeing that. And there's more to that second goal than Darnell Nurse whiffing on the pass attempt from the below the goal line.
First and foremost, the first goal wasn't his fault. So, yeah, he's -2, but it's not his fault. He played it the way he was supposed to. A lot of teams play that way. They play the squeeze because they're trying to say, okay, under pressure, I want you to make a pass from the wide side of the ice all the way across through basically my stick, my defenseman's stick, and the guy coming back and creating back pressure. That's what you're challenging teams to do. And if you do it right and you execute it, it doesn't go in. But unfortunately, back checker stopped skating.
Again, stop skating.
And CC was a split second late. So that
was a Vander Kane on the second one.
Yeah, so we're not even getting to that second one yet. We're still talking about the first one. Okay. But the second goal, you've got Bennett skating up the ice. You've got 4 guys back. He chips the puck in. He somehow beats your defenseman to a puck, who then chips it out in front. Vander Kane is standing literally right next to Rodriguez.
Yes.
Stop leaves skating. Him. Darnell doesn't shoulder check. He whiffs on the puck. Bang, bang, in the net. 2 mistakes. And both of them are preventable. So when you look at the game from a coaching perspective, I sit back and I say, okay, we gave up 2 goals, or we gave up 3, but 2 that were in the play. They're mistakes.
Yes.
And are they correctable mistakes? Is this something that the Florida Panthers flat out went out and earned? No, they're not. These are both situations and plays that were just mistakes. You were standing right next to your guy. Maybe have a little bit of communication with Darnell Nurse. Hey, is it behind you, whatever you want to say. There's got to be communication on that second goal. The first goal, CeCe's a split second late. Hyman doesn't back check the whole way through. Here we are.
2-0 at that point, and then with 5 seconds left on the clock, the Oilers pressing empty net. Eetu Luostarinen gets his second of the postseason from Barkov to ice this one. 3-0 is your final. Shots on goal in this game. Edmonton 33, Florida 18. Face-off percent. Edmonton gets absolutely dummied on the face-off dot, 59.6 to 40.4.
Yeah, they'll have to fix that.
That was something that popped up a bit in the Vancouver series. Got worse in the series against Dallas. I think Edmonton had one game where they won the face-off battle in a 6-game series with Dallas. Power play 0 for 3. We're going to have to talk about that for sure. PK stays solid, goes 2 for 2. Edmonton stayed pretty disciplined in this one. So that's important to point out as well. We've got some Oilers fans that are wondering what the hell is going
trouble.
on. Yeah. Penalties. Edmonton PK 2 for 2. Power play 0 for 3. Hits 63 for the Florida Panthers. 35 for the Edmonton Oilers. I know one of the talking points going into the Stanley Cup Final was the fact that some people believed Florida was going to run Edmonton right out of the rink. They almost double them up on hits. Do you feel like Edmonton got run out of the rink?
I don't think so at all. I think Edmonton handled it extremely well. There's a stat that I saw earlier on Twitter. The average size for the Florida Panthers is 6'2", 200, and the average size for the Oilers is 6'2", 202. So from that standpoint, it's more or less a wash.
Yep.
Florida plays a certain way. They feel like it's successful for them. Edmonton plays a certain way because they feel it's successful for them. And in this game today, I thought Edmonton had the speed advantage. They didn't capitalize on their chances, and they had a ton. That's the difference in the game. You don't score on your chances. You give up 2 because you make 2 mistakes. Game over.
Block shots, 20 for Florida, 15 for Edmonton. Giveaways officially 14 for the Oilers, 10 for the Florida Panthers. Takeaways 11 for the Panthers, 4 for the Oilers. 780-218-9999. Text us your thoughts, your questions for Bellezy as the Oilers fall 3-0 to the Florida Panthers in Game 1 of this Stanley Cup Final. Bellezy, the power play. Let's go to the power play before we get to text. Was it as simple as saying, pound the pill, get the puck on net? And I know another thing, all game long, it seemed like Edmonton had a focus on trying to go low on Sergei Bobrovsky, and he took away the lower part of the net brilliantly on this night.
Yeah, the power play was okay. They had chances. There was a couple times where I thought that they passed up the shot. You can't pass up the shot against a team like this. So I'm not worried about the power play. I thought they did some pretty good things. When you talk about the 5-on-5, and the one play that we talked about in particular was Bouchard had the opportunity to shoot the puck. He tries to make that one extra move. It doesn't work. And there's certain times where he was holding the puck just a little bit long.
Okay.
I know he's extremely patient on the blue line, which opens up holes for him, and that's part of his effectiveness. But when you have a team that's extremely disciplined and they're always in the lane, you've got to try to figure out how to get the puck off quicker, or you've got to try to be a little bit more quick laterally across the blue line as opposed to holding, waiting, maybe changing the angle of a stick, which opens up maybe the triangle or whatever that looks like. So I just find that you've got to be a little bit quicker if you're Bouchard on the point, or at least get across the ice quicker.
Fair enough. And then, do you want to dive into, it feels frustrating, I would assume, for Oilers fans, the same way it was at times during that series against the Canucks. I mean, even the power play took a little bit to get going against the Dallas Stars. So I don't know if it's just the reluctance. And another thing, Bellezy, too, you and I were talking during the first period. It seemed like outlet passes were a little hot coming out of the zone. It seemed like there was some discombobulations at the defensive zone blue line at times for the Oilers. I think there was one sequence where it was like Brober got tied up with his own forward, and then all of a sudden it ends up being a chance for the Florida Panthers. And I looked at you and you're like, that's game one stuff. And by game one stuff, what would you mean?
It's game one stuff. There's some nerves. I mean, these guys, they're all human beings, and it's the biggest game, of potentially their careers. And a lot of guys on the Oiler team, they haven't been to the Stanley Cup Finals. There's only 5 guys that have. So there's a little bit of anxiousness. You can't tell me guys weren't nervous.
Of course they were.
That stuff happens, and you haven't played in a week. So it's a game one thing. You're going to see that rectify itself because they're going to start to get back in the groove. As much as you try to practice in the NHL, it will never replicate what a playoff game speed looks like.
Okay.
They'll never replicate it.
Fair enough.
Sorry.
No, you got this. You got this. In terms of them having the gusto to try to claw their way back into the game, get that equalizer when they were down 1-0, try to chip away at the 2-0 lead when Florida got up by that second goal. Didn't look like they were deterred at all by either one of those Florida Panthers goals, whether it was the first one to break the ice or the second one that gave them the 2-goal cushion. Did you like the jam that the Oilers showed? Because they led on the shot clock the entire game. They had some brilliant chances, and there were just some great saves by Sergei Bobrovsky. And how much of it is elevate the damn puck? I heard it here in both intermissions from people that were watching this game.
100%. I mean, Ekholm talked about the maturation process of the Oilers. I mean, what he mentioned was there was times throughout the playoffs last season where they would have games where they would break.
Yeah.
1-goal game, something changes, it's not in their favor, a team is pushing, they instantly break, the other team wins. You look at tonight's scenario, this same Oilers team in a game like this might have tried to change the way that they played, which usually results in bad things happening.
Sure.
This current Oiler group, there's a determination. Like they as soon as they got scored on, they stepped their game up again, and they went back to work, and they continued to push. And every coach will tell you that championship teams do not change the way that they play, whether they're up 5 or they're down 5. And with the Oilers, you didn't see them change the way that they played. They can continue to pressure puck. They got in the forecheck. They created turnovers. Was there a little bit of a lull? Sure there was.
He pointed that out. He said they're in their lull. And I was like, oh.
It wasn't as big as what the normal swings are. But at the end of the day, these guys are still going. They're pushing. This is the first time they've been in the Stanley Cup for most of them. I thought it was a good game for a game one. Yes, they lost. And so don't take that the wrong way. Yes, they lost. They're down by 1. But there's a lot of positives that you can build upon to now be ready for game 2. And that is what, as a coach, you're telling your team. Yeah, we lost. We made 2 mistakes. There's positives everywhere. Let's use those. Let's watch them. Let's see what we can correct, and let's go from there.
780-218-9999. And then, of course, via the Nasty Chat, get in there. It is the GCL Diesel Oil Stream postgame show. Live on location, Hudsons Bourbon St at West Edmonton Mall. A deflated group here. A lot of Oiler fans disappointed, but they were excited by the team's performance. And like Bellezy said, hey, yeah, a couple of mistakes, but they had a lot of great opportunities and were not able to capitalize. And then when they did get some of those grade A opportunities, Bobrovsky was absolutely brilliant. We do have some text I want to get to right away here. We also have a poll that Zachticum put out there. Zachticum, do you want to read it out there and tell us where we're at so far through a few minutes of having this poll up via YouTube?
Yeah, it's just been up for 4 minutes, and the poll I put out is, after the outcome of Game 1, are you worried for the Oilers? And right now, in the lead is no at 45%, 144 total votes, 17% for yes, 26% for a little bit, and 11% of people are saying, I'm terrified.
All right, let's go into the Nasty Chat. I've got this one. I kind of saved it up, and I'm glad Stefan brings it up, or Stefan Iverson says, Knoblauch with the most baffling decision of the year in putting Nurse and CC back together. You have every metric showing they have never worked together. Adds an LOL. That's from Stefan. via the Nasty Chat. We were talking about it today a little bit on Hello Hockey when we saw the lines and talked about the lines. Is it as simple as saying that is terrible, putting those two together? And Stefan bringing up the point like, hey, they've got every metric that says that these two don't work together. All I know about analytics from what the teams have compared to what we as media and fans have, the wealth of data that the teams possess is much deeper than what we get at some of the best analytics sites available to the public.
100%. I mean, what do you want to say here
about Nurse and
Ceci? Like, it is what it is. You've got a young defenseman in Broberg who is in the game. They want to protect him against a team that many feel is an upgrade over the Dallas Stars. So you just went and played against the Dallas Stars. You got a team that most people will say that they're ultra physical. Well, 63 hits tells you they're super physical.
Yes.
But you got to try to protect him just as much as we're trying to win. Like, he played a lot tonight, and he played well. So you put him with Kulak because you want to make sure that he's comfortable. He's got a good, solid defenseman right next to him. What else do you do? Your only other option is to put, where you're going to put Desharnais in over Ceci. That's the question you have to ask yourself. And it is what it is. I don't know what to tell you because no answer right now will be good enough
for anybody. I know, and
it is what it is.
And listen, I was surprised to see it. I'm recollecting listening to how you and I broke it down earlier. You were a little bit surprised, and I mean, I don't think we tried to understand why. I think we tried to rationalize a little bit.
That's all you can really do. I mean, we're not in the locker room, and for us to be like, well, you got to do this, you got to do this. Well, there's probably reasons why they went to that lineup. Like, there's no answer at this point that will walk you off this ledge.
That's true, and I hope a lot of Oiler fans aren't on the ledge just yet. That was a Game 1 loss, and we've seen this team in recent years bounce back after a first game of a series loss. By the way, if you're going, well, what the hell were their stats tonight anyway, Tom? I will tell you. Philip Broberg, 17:55 time on ice. He played more than Nurse.
Yep.
I think that's telling. He had one shot, donuts across the board, otherwise no hits. You liked a couple of the things he did with the puck. You pointed out a few moves he made in a couple of nice outlet plays.
Yeah, 100%. He was starting to use his feet a little bit more. He made some really good deceptive plays, getting back to pucks quickly, moving him up to the forwards, exactly what he's supposed to do. And if you look at it right now, well, Nurse and Ceci actually played the least amount, actually Kulak, by about 13 seconds.
Yeah. Evan Bouchard played 27 minutes tonight.
Yep.
I will get to Darnell Nurse and Cody Ceci's stats tonight. Darnell Nurse, no points, 4 hits, -2, like a lot of people are pointing out. 16:09 time on ice. That is a team low on the back end.
Yep.
And then Cody Ceci, no points, 1 shot, 4 hits, -2. 17:19 time on ice. Evan Bouchard led the way, time on ice, 27-17, 4 shots, 1 hit, -1. And then Matthias Ekholm, -1. 2 penalty minutes, 2 shots, 3 hits. That's your stat line for the D-men. Kulak, 17:06, like you mentioned, Bellezy, and donuts right across the board. So there you go. There's your D-man stat line for the Edmonton Oilers tonight. Okay, let's get to some more text here. 780-218-9999. A ton coming in. Hit that thumbs up on your way in if you're going to watch us on YouTube tonight. We appreciate it. Tom Gazzola, Shawn Belle with you. Live on location, Hudson's Bourbon St at West Edmonton Mall. And then Zachticum holding things down tonight back at EST HQ. We're going to go down to Conroe, Texas. Conroe, Texas says, I love the effort. Don't panic, people. They're winning in 6 if they keep playing like that. Yep. So if you're Kris Knoblauch, is that the message to the group? It's like, hey, that's how you do it. Just get the puck over the damn guy.
Find a way to get to the net more. Find a way to bury on your opportunities. That's the difference in the game. It's once again, Ekholm talked about it in the pregame. The margin of error is ultra small.
Yes.
So you make 2 mistakes, they end up in the back of your net, and you're not able to capitalize. There's the game. That's how small it is.
Yep.
So, and as minuscule as those mistakes are, it's literally a split second of whether Ceci can be in front of Barkov on the first goal, and the other one is literally I think it was Bennett, just gets around him, is able to slap the puck with a stick to the slot. It bounces over Nurse's stick, or he whiffs on it, whatever that is.
Gets by him.
Two little small things. Well, split second more. Nurse picks it off. If CC's going a little bit quicker, maybe he's able to get stick on puck and close that off right at the wall. Maybe there's an opportunity for one of the forwards, because
there's a Vander Kane on that one again. He kind of let up.
But McLeod was in the middle of the ice, and he has the opportunity to step right in front of Bennett, which can potentially slow him down for one split second. There's just a couple mistakes. We don't need to get the pitchforks out tonight. This is a good hockey game, and once again, coaches are going to tell you, guys, we played a good hockey game. We put up a ton of shots. We missed a ton of opportunities. The grade A scoring chances were what? Like 18-6, something ridiculous like that?
Yeah.
So elevate the puck, take care of the front of the net, scoring habits, go from there.
Zach Hyman had this great opportunity in front, and I think it's indicative of the type of night it was. And, credit obviously to Sergei Bobrovsky, who was brilliant. He made some fantastic saves. Hyman gets the right idea, executes on it, but he basically kicks a field goal, one that the Edmonton Oilers could have used tonight.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Lost to the Saskatchewan Roughriders.
I got a guy in here saying, time for a rebuild.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man.
Okay, let's go into the inbox here.
Much.
Jason in Leduc texting in. Good to see Jason here at Hudson's Bourbon St. Says, run that game back 10 times. The Oilers win at least 7 of them. Great effort. Down 0-1 on the road is no biggie. Oilers keep that up. They win this series. Good to see you, gents. Great vibe at Hudson's tonight. And I think a lot of people would generally agree with that. You play that game again, you nullify those little mistakes, the little brain farts, let's call them. We all make them. And you might be talking about a different result. Maybe that's what they get in game number 2 on Monday night. I'm going to go to this one that says, I had a worse feeling after they choked away the lead against Van in game 1. Thought that might rattle them, clean up a couple things, and keep peppering Bob, is the text with no name on it. Let's go to Jeff, who says, Oil played very well, but I think it is a bit naive to not be somewhat worried. They are now in a situation where they must win game 2, and that will require getting an early goal against Bobrovsky. The longer this goes without getting one by him, the more the pressure will build up on Skinner and the defense. And you said something in the dying minutes of that game, even though they're down 2-0, you said, just get one. And I said, well, what's the rationale behind that? Even though I feel like I have an idea, but I wanted to hear your take on it.
It was just about solving Bobrovsky.
Right.
That's all it was about. I mean, we've seen that momentum doesn't travel. So you go into game 2, once again, it's going to be a completely different game. But, I mean, it's a best of 7 for a reason. You got to win 4. And the Oilers are a good hockey team. They proved that tonight. There's been teams in this playoffs that have been down by 2, and they've come back to win. This is not the end of the world. This isn't game 7. We just lost. Once again, I understand the frustration. You didn't win game 1, but the Oilers are 2-9 in their last game 1.
Not particularly great.
It's not that great. So here we are, staring at a 1-0 deficit, but you played well.
Okay, lots of text coming. We have a ton to get to here.
I really don't know what you want me to say.
No, I'm not trying to force you to say anything.
Not you, but it's more of a generality. It's like, guys, are we watching the same game? Like, did you not see where Edmonton carried the play for most of the game?
Bellezy, I think most people did see the same thing that we're discussing.
Yeah, so
I'm
why
sure
why are the torches out then?
Because that's how it is, and you heighten it because of the fact it's the Stanley Cup Final. You know that there are those in this market and fans of this team that take it to that extreme, and that's just within their predisposition, if you will.
Do we need to put a PSA out again?
No, we're not putting out a PSA.
It's all good, man.
RBM getting in here. RBM says, this guy ain't worried. Only reason Florida won tonight is because their goaltending flat out completely stood on his head. Outside of that, I wasn't impressed with their game tonight personally. Oilers seem to always respond when their backs are up against the wall. Smanthers or Panthers want to play that way. I like Edmonton's chances. Unless he tried to write Smanthers on purpose, although, yeah, Panthers. Moonwatcher texting in says, Bouchard's just got to move the puck a little quicker. He was a little slow tonight. Where are you on that?
Yeah, I agree. Just a tad quicker. We talked about that earlier with the shot selection, right? Like, once again, his patience is one of his elite traits.
Yeah.
He holds on to pucks. He changes the angle of the stick, which just opens up, defensemen or opposing forwards, or it freezes them because they think he's going to shoot it and they're trying to block it. That's what opens up lanes for him. But he's just got to be a little bit quicker with his decision making there.
Yeah, and is that kind of a falling under the game one umbrella thing that you were talking about earlier? Okay, let's go to Twitter Mary, who says, I know I shouldn't say it, but I said it. Bobrovsky needs the quote-unquote Rolison treatment, or the Oil need to shoot blocker side high. 25 and 5 need to be separated. Goodness. But that first goal, Hyman lost his man. It was good to see how well they did, though, even though they didn't win. Holloway did a great job, too. Signed, Twitter, Mary, who's hopping on the CC Nurse pairing bandwagon, and not impressed with them, among many.
The Nasty Chat wasn't this upset when they lost to Dallas.
Are they that upset tonight?
They're fired up today.
At it.
The Nasty Chat's a little bit fired up.
Okay. Do you see anything that you want to point out?
No, they're just fired up.
Blanket statement, leave it at that?
Blanket statement. I've already got my 6 o'clocker logger in the belly. I'm doing good.
Serenity now.
Yeah.
That's your serenity juice.
Movie Bad Boys where they're like, woosah, woosah.
Woosah.
Yeah, woosah. That's all you got to do. Take a breath.
I don't know.
It's going to be a long series.
Yeah. I thought the Oilers played a good game.
So did I.
I'm not feeling the burn like some fans. I'm looking at it, trying to be as objective as possible, obviously, and I thought that Edmonton had good spunk and gusto.
Yeah.
100%. Like they didn't look deterred when they got down a goal. They didn't look like they were, totally deflated when they got down two. They pushed back and they couldn't score. But they had some great opportunities and couldn't convert on this night. Sergei Bobrovsky standing tall when he needed to in Edmonton, when it had opportunities to put pucks past him. When they did create an open net, they didn't do it. They fired it over the net or missed the puck or whatever. Yeah. And ultimately, it is a 3-0 loss. Let's go to this one. Out of Calgary says, Oilers had a great season. Time to regroup and focus on signing Dry, finding a new GM. Bob isn't going to allow a single goal in the series. There's somebody hopping off.
Yeah.
Broken ankles. How quickly they hopped off the bandwagon.
100%.
Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised there. Greasy Jim, I believe is the name on that one. Let's go to Hersey, whose brother is a member of the Florida Panthers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Hersey says, Tommy and Bellezy, no Oilers hat tonight. Go Cats. When you've got family involved.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. Amos Moses getting in here with a long one. Let's go to it. It's only game one. Oil will bounce back. A few takeaways from the game. Nurse and Sisu reunited. Why? Played the first goal poorly. 2, McLeod, too passive, not battling nearly enough in a possible conceding a lifetime opportunity. Second goal was Nurse and his fault. Again, Nurse whiffs on it, but it was
Kane was standing right next to him.
Kane standing there, and then was it CC and the bounce off the wall?
And McLeod not holding it, skating in front of Bennett to slow him down. So
but I'll continue this one from Amos Moses. Says Nurse goes by the net with CC for no reason. Nurse was at the side of the net on that one, on the second one. If we're talking about that one. McLeod coasting and puck watching, yes, 100%. Bellezy just pointed that out as well. Left his man alone after allowing easy zone entry. And then, of course, Kane didn't come back on that. Amos Moses goes on to say, Draisaitl and Bouchard too soft and nonchalant along the boards and along the offensive blue line. Too many turnovers right at the line. I was nervous of Florida's physicality and forecheck, but Oilers can handle it. There's a thumbs up there with that one. Get them back on Monday. Let's go, Oilers. One point that Amos Moses makes is Draisaitl, Bouchard too soft and nonchalant. And then the turnovers at the line, which I think is not just Bouchard and Draisaitl. It's a few guys that were involved in that.
I would agree with the turnovers at the blue line. Yeah. That's a dangerous game to play, especially against a team like Florida that transitions very well. So I 100% agree. I think the Oilers had 14 turnovers tonight to 10 to the Panthers, or was that flipped?
Right here. I have it for you, buddy.
Yeah, 14-10.
You had good memory.
So I do 100% agree with you that you got to limit the turnovers at the blue line. You got to be a little bit more taking cliche, get pucks in, get pucks out at the Blues, because those are important areas on the ice. So I do 100% agree there.
Thank
Good
you,
points.
Amos Moses, for the text. Go to Grumpy Cat, says, Ice beat the Oilers. Not losing my mind after this one. If that is the max from Kane with his injury, is it worth sitting or alternating games or anything? What would you say? He hasn't been practicing.
Yeah, he looked slow tonight.
Yeah.
I'm curious what his injury is.
Well, he said he's got a sports hernia going into the playoffs. You think there's more to it than that? I know Cass played with a sports hernia. Said
I played one, and it's awful.
Yeah.
It's awful. It affected like a whole season. So I don't know. I know that there is a bit of an intimidation factor with Kane. But if he's looking like that, that's tough.
What about the time off itself?
I think it helps more than it hurts.
Okay.
For sure.
Okay.
Yeah, Kane did not look good tonight. Just it wasn't that he was trying to make plays or anything like that. He was a little bit slow on the forecheck. He was losing battles along the wall. It was not great. Hopefully he can bounce back and be a little bit better next game.
780-218-9999. You can text us, or if you're watching on YouTube, hit that thumbs up button, please and thank you. It is the Oil Stream post-game show brought to you by GCL Diesel. Tom Gazzola and Shawn Belle live on location, Hudsons Bourbon St, Zachticum holding things down back at EST HQ. All right, let's continue with the text. Once we get to some audio, when we have it, we are going to let that roll and let you hear from the Oilers after their 3-0 loss in Game 1 at the hands of the Panthers. I love when you laugh because I know you read something
I'm
funny.
always going through the nasty chat.
What did
There's
you,
always
what
something
did you get
funny
there? What caught your attention?
We got Chief Andy. Cass played with everything except a good goalie. Some of these guys crack me up. Some of these guys
he's
and
not
girls.
even here tonight.
Oh,
that's funny.
I love it.
Oh, Chief Andy, good to hear from you.
I love it.
Chief Andy maintaining the humor on a tough night for the Oilers. So we got another poll up there. Zachticum, what do you got for everybody that's watching on YouTube right now?
Yeah, the poll I got right now is who wins Game 2 of the Stanley Cup Final. And right now there's 115 total votes for this poll, and 72% of people say that the Oilers get Game 2.
All right, I love it.
I agree. They're coming back home with 1-1.
Your wife is texting.
Chirping your tie. Is that red and blue?
No, it's black and red.
Oh, boy. That's like Panther colors. That's bad omen, buddy.
No, it isn't. They're gold and red.
Ah, whatever.
Can I give me a hello, Lindsay, first of all. I hope you're doing well. Say hi to Evie for me. Adorable video you showed of Evie earlier. I had to come from a Elks Riders game, and if I wore anything that resembled any one of those teams, I was going to get ripped apart. There goes my brother Mike and his crew. Good to see you guys. And so I wore a black and red tie. And then I quickly whipped over here. I want to get to some more. Thank you, Lindsay, I wouldn't do that. I don't have a black and gold one. So I swear, there's a reason. All right, let's go to this one from Jimbo. It says the Cats took advantage of the Oilers' mistakes. The boys ran into Bob. Oilers deserve to win. Need a greasy one or a fortuitous bounce to open the floodgates next game. Mike in Thunder Bay chiming in. Hello, Mike. Hope you're doing well. Mike says Oilers versus themselves again. And we know that's the thing. Hang on. Let me finish it. 2 major errors. Yep. End up in the back of the net. 2 pretty on the power play. Agreed. It's 1 game. Oilers will solve Bobrovsky. Not concerned. Oilers have Game 2 in the bag. Mike in Thunder Bay. The Oilers versus themselves. He backs it up with 2 major errors, and we talked about those mistakes.
Yeah, we talked about those, but I don't know if that's necessarily the Oilers against themselves. Like, we've seen the Oilers when they go into Oiler mode.
They go full Oiler.
That wasn't the same. Some good points for sure, Mike.
Yeah.
But no, for the most part, they played really well, and it's those mistakes happen. There were such quick plays.
Yeah.
In particular, that first goal, it was a bang, bang, bang in the net. So once again, there's split seconds. They were in the right positions. I would say the first goal was more of a bang, bang play as opposed to the second goal. because that first goal, they were in the right spots. They were moving to those spots. It's just one of those. Yeah, you got to skate those last two strides. You haven't caught the player yet. So, good point. So,
I was going to add something to them when they're versus themselves, but this is the only point of it, that just to counter what Mike and Thunder Bay said when it was Oilers versus themselves, and we wholeheartedly acknowledge the mistakes. But I think like the fact that Florida is that good and they get just a sliver of an opportunity, you give them half an inch, quarter of an inch, and they can turn it into a mile. That's a testament to them.
Yep.
They're
a dangerous team.
And I think it's safe to use that in this instance with both those goals. Because I don't think LA's bearing those opportunities.
No,
I don't know if Vancouver has some weapons. I think Dallas has a few guys that could, but
I think like Florida this team has the most high-end talent that the Oilers have also played against.
Yeah.
And it's not taking a shot at Dallas or Vancouver. There's some good players on those teams as well.
Of course.
Even LA, but the difference is I don't think those teams are bearing those chances. And Florida gets a look, they are bearing the chance. It happened in the exact same way in the Rangers series. The Rangers had times to carry the play, then all of a sudden one mistake back of the net. So you have to limit those mistakes. You can't have 14 turnovers. That's too much in the playoffs.
Yes.
Especially high danger opportunities.
All right, portions of this hour brought to you by 100.3 The Bear, Edmonton's best rock. Catch Dusty Nielsen on every morning during the week with Yukon Jack and Scott McCord, and then tune in to Jess Jackson on your way home from work every afternoon. We do have some audio to get to from the Oilers locker room following their 3-0 loss in Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Final. Zachticum, where are we going first?
Yeah, let's hear from the man who is getting some flack with his defensive pair. Man, Cody Ceci. Here is Darnell Nurse.
First game thoughts of not so much the final score. I know how you feel about that, but just the build-up and how it went.
Yeah, I think we did a lot of things within our game. I think that we liked, and there's a few things we need to clean up. So, you regroup. Don't like the result, but you regroup and get ready for Game 2.
Everyone talked about how they're a very physical team, but it looks like your speed really kind of negated the physicality. How did you see that? How was it affecting your speed against them?
Yeah, I think there was some physicality both ways, and then for sure, I think when we get to our speed game, it allows us to play with an advantage against any team. But of course, you got to continue that into Game 2.
What do you see on their second goal?
Oh, just he wins a puck race and goes through my wicket, so I get a piece of it.
Obviously, Bobrovsky was lights out, but do you guys feel like you deserve better of shooting them like 33-18, I think?
Yeah, I mean, you got to continue to create the chances that I think we created tonight, and at some point find a way to break through. He had a really good night, and I think obviously they committed to collapsing down when there was chances in front of that too. So they found the right result tonight. We regroup and get ready for Game 2.
It seemed like you guys are regarded as a better rush team in terms of offense, and maybe not so much them. They scored the goal off the rush. What do you think of the way they attacked off the rush tonight?
Yeah, I mean, they scored a nice goal off the rush and made 2 good plays. So for us, that's probably an element of our game that we can get to too. If we continue to break the puck out and force them outnumbered situations.
All right, that was Darnell Nurse following his team's 3-0 loss in Game 1 of the Cup Final to the Florida Panthers. Keep those texts coming in, 780-218-9999. Nasty chat, you showed me one that I was just like, oh, okay. Well, is that a troll or is that a true Oiler fan? I don't even know if you want to give that one the light of day.
No, I don't want to give it a light of day.
Okay, that's fine. Darnell Nurse said something about that second goal where we just broke it down. We've talked about it a few times, and a bunch of people have brought it up. Understandably so. We get that. He said, it goes through my wickets. I got to get a piece of it.
Mm-hmm.
And we're not. That's
fair. He tried to own the goal, and he's taking the blame. But there's so many factors, and once again, you want to break it down in the way a coach tries to break it down. It's as simple as this. Bennett, it's 1-on-4. He dumps the puck at the blue line. McLeod is right in the middle of the ice. He's able to now skate past McLeod, pass CC, get a stick on it, chip it all the way to the front of the net, goes through Nurse to Rodrigue.
Yes.
That's the first part of it.
Yes.
When I look at it from the Oilers' perspective, McLeod, you got to find a way to just slow him down for a split second. I don't need you to run massive interference. I need you to slow him down for a quick second because CC's flat-footed, and he has, if I get 1 second, he gets that puck, he moves it out. 2, Darnell Nurse, you got a shoulder check. 3,
okay.
Kane, you're standing right next to Rodrigue. And if you look at where the play enters the ice, well, you're on the, the right-hand side of the ice?
Yeah.
So, Kane, you actually should be in that exact spot.
In the middle.
You should be right in the middle, smack dab. But you're starting to veer off because you think that CC's going to win the race, and he's going to now move it. So you're cheating for offense as opposed to going into your spot, being solid on the defensive end, and then going from there. That's a full breakdown of that goal.
And then Rodrigue, the quick release.
And then a quick release, and by that time it's in the net. So
Rodriguez.
There's multiple pieces on that one. So, yeah, we break it down to one mistake, but it goes to McLeod not slowing him down, CC being flat-footed, Nurse not looking, Kane going away from his check.
Darnell Nurse owning it, taking it on the chin. That's what leaders do. So good on him for making that comment in regard to the second goal. All right, let's go back inside the Oilers locker room. Who are we going to hear from now? Zachticum.
Well, let's hear from the man who started in net for the Edmonton Oilers. Here is hometown boy Stuart Skinner.
Your team responded, and you guys played tonight, and yourself, how you responded.
Yeah, even though we let in the first one, I think that our team played another, I would say, full 60. We were amazing for the whole game. We really pushed. Bob was absolutely massive for them, and big reason why they were able to win.
How big does that, going forward the series, knowing that you have that game in you against this team?
It obviously makes us feel confident that we're able to play a game like that for a full 60. But at the same time, losing a game like that where you do play your full 60, makes you need to get a little bit more of a push, especially the way that we can start and not get down on this team.
What's it like, Stu, when you're at your end watching the other guy play as well as he played at his end?
Yeah, to be honest, it's I'm just watching. Not much I can do. He made some spectacular saves, and I can't do anything but say, wow, that was a really nice save.
This was your first run at this. How did you feel, just kind of nerves-wise, energy-wise, is kind of what you were expecting, and how did you feel about the goals that you did give up?
Yeah, I felt really good, felt really normal through the whole way, and then right before warm-up started, I started to get a couple of butterflies in the stomach, which is always very fun because it just means you're very excited and that you're you love that. You love what you're doing. So yeah, I got a couple butterflies, and once I stepped on the ice, it was I felt good again because it was just back to work.
So when they score earlier, you're thinking, I need to get a couple of saves in me before all of a sudden we get a goal.
You're hoping for it, anyways. But yeah, they made a nice play, had a nice goal, and can't do much after that. So it's just rebounding and doing your best to make the next save.
You've had a unlucky few weeks in the playoffs where the first shot of the game is like a grade A chance like tonight. Obviously, you'd like to get a couple easier ones first to feel the puck, but when they have such a good chance, they score on the first shot, does it really matter when the first one goes in? Does it make a difference what kind of chance it was?
That question honestly brings up when we went on a really big run, and I felt like almost every game in the 16-game winning streak, we let in the first shot, and we were able to show our resiliency just like we did tonight. And letting in the first goal is obviously a dagger because you never want to let in a goal. But it's all about how you respond in those moments, and I think that our team did an incredible job at that.
What's Bob feeling right now? I mean, you've been on the other side.
What is he feeling?
Yeah.
That's a tough question for me to answer. I have been on the other side of that. You feel good, but at the same time, you know that you got a job to do. Florida knows just as well as we do that you need 4 wins to take it home. So, one win isn't going to do that. So it's going to be a big push on their end, I'm sure, next game, as well as ours. I think both teams aren't exactly satisfied.
Stu, the second goal just beat you on the glove. It's a really good shot for Rodrigo.
Yeah, it was a nice shot. A little bit of a broken play. Got on their forecheck, got it to the slot, and made a nice shot. There's few things I'm sure I could do. I'd have to look back on it. It's not too fresh in my mind because it was in the second period, so I'll look back on it and get better from it.
So the opposing goalie, does he ever tell their shooters, okay, we can't beat this guy down low, so we better shoot it up high on him? Because he made a ton of saves with his legs.
Oh, like what we were saying?
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of,
His MO.
yeah, like he's amazing down low. He's also amazing up high. Like it's hard to beat him. He's an incredible goalie, but yeah, he does a great job sealing the ice, and you just got to somehow find a way to score a goal on him. That's kind of been the MO for all series that we've played, and we've been playing some top-end goaltenders, and it's never easy to beat these guys.
There you go. There's Stuart Skinner following his team's 3-0 loss in Game 1. Skinner, 15 saves on 17 shots. He said that first goal that went in on the first shot, it's a dagger, and he also alluded to the 16-game winning streak, said that there's a few nights that during that streak, they allowed the first shot to go in. He was in net for most of those games, so he was, a guilty party in that. But the demeanor didn't seem too bent out of place. He did mention the butterflies.
Yep.
How would you sum up Stu Skinner tonight in Game 1?
I thought he was okay. I don't think he was awful by any stretch of the imagination. The first goal, we've broken it down. It crosses Royal Road, which the minute that puck crosses the middle of the ice, it increases the opportunity to score by like 20%. So it happens. Most NHLers are going to score backdoor tap in.
Yeah.
It is what it is. Yes, it was the first goal of the game, and you would like to make sure that it's not,
right?
But it was.
Right.
And the biggest takeaway from that whole thing is that it didn't break the Oilers. And once again, if we go back to Ekholm's comments, this time, if this would have happened to the Oilers last year, this is a rout. But it's not. They push and they push, and they got their game back, and they feel confident with what they do and what they bring to the table. And that's the biggest takeaway of it. Not that they've got the first goal scored on them. That's not the biggest takeaway. Yeah, you want that. I know.
Sure.
But it's more about the way that the Oilers respond than the goal that was scored.
On the first shot, yeah. Let's go to Byron out of Winnipeg. Says, hey, boys, Oilers played well. Just didn't finish. Need more boosh bombs from the point. Nurse got lost in the second on the second goal. Do you think they break that pair of Ceci and Nurse up for Game 2? And does Perry stay in right-hand center, Carrick in instead maybe? Hey, it's one long series. Go Oilers. So let's take a look at the body of work from Corey Perry tonight in this game. Perry playing 8:45 -1, 2 penalty minutes, and 1 shot on goal. Was the game too fast for Corey Perry from what you saw?
It was pretty fast for him. He still did a lot of things, but there's quite a bit of special teams. Takes him off the ice. They're trying to load up Draisaitl and McDavid a little bit more. Because you're playing from behind, you're going to put your top dogs out way more often than not. So
did you like that?
Well, yeah, you're chasing goals. You have to do it. So you're trying to get back to the game. You're trying to win it. So your obligation is to try to put your best players or the guys that are going to give you the best opportunity to score on the ice. And that's exactly what happened. And we're looking at it right now. Draisaitl had 23-14. So it's not a surprise that Perry played that little because he's not going to be your top 6 forwards out on the ice?
No, he's not. Yeah,
so,
he's not,
I mean, was it too fast for him? Sure, you can say that. Could Carrick help? I'm sure he could, but he wasn't a factor, good or bad.
He's just there.
He was there.
I get it. Let's go to Strummy. Sends in a bumblebee tuna. Said Oilers Stanley Cup. Chasing it, and then the cartoon has Nurse and Ceci pulling the Oilers back from the Stanley Cup. I think a lot of people feel that way like Strubby does tonight. Let's go to Paul from The Rock. Says Barkov is a beast. I think we can accept that. We know. West End Rob texting in says, boys, what lineup changes for Game 2? Fogle, McLeod, Perry, not effective. Would 1 or 2 of those need to come out? Also, thoughts on the Cup on the ice to start the game. Never seen that before. Panthers won't touch the Wales trophy, but do that, says West End Rob. West End Rob, I would say this about the cup coming out on the ice. That's not a Panthers call or an Oilers call.
That's an NHL call.
The league says, hey, we're doing this, and we're going to have all this pomp and ceremony prior to the final starting. So that's totally 100% an NHL call. They probably just dictated it to both teams, and both teams like, okay, I guess so. Weird, but sure. But West End Rob wants to know about lineup changes. If you were coaching, you are a coach.
Maybe think about putting Carrick in.
And you're taking out who?
Maybe Perry. But I like Perry's experience, and I love the way that he's able to kind of talk to the guys. Like, you kind of heard it over the last couple of days, the advice that he's given to the players, and there's a bit of a calming presence with him. That's why they brought him in. So it'd be tough to take him out for those reasons. But play-wise, Carrick might be a good fit. I could potentially see Derek Ryan coming in. So it'll be interesting to see what happens from that standpoint. Desharnais is going to be talked about.
Who would come out?
You're probably looking at CC.
Because Broberg
played
he was
well.
Fine.
He played well.
Kulak. I thought Kulak was okay.
The problem is the Panthers are an interesting hybrid. So in the Dallas series, Desharnais was in trouble because his speed got exposed.
Fair. Yes.
You can't tell me that the Florida Panthers are that much slower than the Dallas Stars.
No, they're not.
So are we going to get back to the same situation where he gets exposed again? I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. But
do you want him there for his physical edge?
Well,
is the trade-off beneficial?
Was the physical edge a factor tonight?
No, I don't feel like the Oilers got run out of that rink at all. And you said that earlier in the show.
They handled the physicality of the Panthers quite well.
Yeah.
It was there. The stats were 18-6 in grade A scoring chances. More often than not, the Oilers aren't missing those chances. Hyman's not missing that many chances.
Nugent Hopkins blows one over the net as well.
That's my point.
Empty net.
You're not usually, if we're talking about the analytics,
yes,
and everybody wants to go to the analytics of the thing, well, the analytics say that you shouldn't have lost that game. So there you go.
Take all of them, and it says what? Shouldn't have lost that game. I like that. Bellezy, well done, sir. All right, let's go back inside the Oilers locker room. Zachticum, tell us who's next.
Let's hear from the man in the scoring lead of the NHL playoffs, Captain Connor McDavid.
I thought there was lots to like, to be honest. I thought we had lots and lots of looks and didn't give up too much. What we did give up was dangerous, and they capitalized. That's what good teams do.
Connor, was that cut from the Bennett hit, or is that something else?
No, before it was just a nice day.
Can your team play much better than that and not win?
Can the team play much better than that and not win?
yes, tough ones.
Got to give me a minute with that. Like I said, there was lots to like. We generated chances. We had looks. Not a ton of puck luck around their net. Some weird plays in there, but they're a good team. Give them credit. They did enough to win.
What did it feel like? Dominate them like that. How much does that help you moving forward in the series, knowing that you can play like that against them?
Yeah, I know how many people gave us a chance in this series, and I think we showed tonight that we can play with them. That's a confidence booster for this group, but we know that our best can play with anybody, and disappointing.
What did it feel like at the lead up to the anthem, seeing the Stanley Cup at center ice? What did it all feel like for you before the game?
Yeah, it was. Usually get introed in the road barns, so that was different. But gave them a good chance to give us a good boo. But pretty funny, all part of the experience, and
You never know a team until you play them.
Mm-hmm.
And you can do all the tape and all the study and everything else. What did you find out tonight, other than the score, from this game?
They're as advertised. They're exactly what they look like on TV, and what everyone says. They're aggressive. They play hard. They're fast, and they work. they were as advertised.
Did you guys have to go upstairs on Bob more? There's a lot of chances that he made kick saves.
Yeah, he gets low. He does a great job of taking away the lower part of the net, and yeah.
Obviously, you
what we see from the power play tonight.
A lot to like. Again, similar to the 5-on-5 game. A lot to like. Thought we generated looks similar to their 5-on-5. Their identity is their identity to be aggressive, and their kill is just the same. They're coming always, and if you make a couple of good plays, you're going to get a good chance.
Connor, aside from not scoring, is there anything you feel like you would have done differently in this game? It seemed like a lot was going right for you, as you said.
Yeah, maybe a couple plays here and there. You'd certainly like to bear down and find a way to get one. Just make one more play. Find something that we weren't able to find.
Did you think you hardly made any defensive mistakes in your end, and they made mistakes?
Well, they're good offensively as well. They don't need much room. They got two looks, and they make a couple of nice plays, and they find a way to score. And that's what we do well as well. So. Yeah.
Did you think they had trouble with your speed? You said they're fast. I thought the Oilers were faster.
Yeah, a lot was talked about their forecheck. I thought our forecheck was good, and we were able to get pucks back and sustain some zone time and do some things that it seemed like other teams weren't able to do against them, and that's hang on to the puck and create looks and tilt the rink. That's what they do great. They do a great job of tilting the rink, and I thought we did that to them a little bit tonight.
One more, guys.
Do you feel like with the scoring that this team has, the power play that this team has, that getting goalied one game doesn't have to lead to more? This team has enough that just can't last?
Maybe it was the hockey gods getting us back for that game 6, where we probably didn't deserve to win. Tonight maybe we deserved, at least one goal or maybe 2 goals, and we don't find a way to get them. I know this group will stick with it, bounce back. That's what we take a lot of pride in doing, and we'll gear up for a big one on Monday.
All right, that was the captain, Connor McDavid. Nice line at the end there. The hockey gods getting us back for that game 6. He said maybe that's what.
Maybe.
Yeah, they hung on there in game 6 against the Dallas Stars. Maybe, probably, no, definitely did not deserve to win. But especially when they got outshot 35-10 last Sunday. Doesn't sound like a guy who's rattled. And I know usually he doesn't get too bent out of shape in his post-game interviews, win or lose. But I think steely is a way that I would describe his demeanor. And then, that line at the end saying the hockey god thing kind of tells me he's all right mentally and he's not too rattled by what
they're
happened.
perfectly fine. He made some good points. They had more chances than all the other teams that the Florida Panthers have played against in the playoffs. They tilted the ice at times. They generated 18 grade A opportunities.
Could they have simplified? Yes. Could they have shot more pucks in the? Yeah.
Yeah, 100% they could have.
Yeah.
But Hyman doesn't normally miss those opportunities. He had 68 goals on this year, including the playoffs?
Yes.
Yeah, normally he doesn't miss those.
No, that is true.
Right? So
those are his bread and butter.
Nuge usually scores on that play. So those right there are goals that potentially just ties it, just off those two. And right now, it's as simple as, we didn't score on our opportunities, and the other team scored on their opportunities. And that's what it is. And I'll continue to go back to the pregame presser that we aired with Ekholm, where it's like the errors are, the margins of error are razor thin.
Yes, absolutely. All right, McDavid, by the way, -2, 6 shots, 25-19 time on ice, 33.3% on the face-off dot. Okay. We have one more bit of audio to get to before we get to Kris Knoblauch, and we're going to go back to a player. It is Zachary Hyman.
Summarize the way that night went for you guys.
We had our looks. I thought we played pretty well overall.
he's a good goalie over there. He made some good saves, but I mean, I liked our game.
Do you feel like there's a blueprint? Like that's the blueprint for winning this game, this series, right?
Yeah, I think game ones are a little bit of a feeling out process. Obviously, you want to come out strong and dictate the pace of the play. I think if we play like that, we're going to be fine.
Anything about this first, I know you saw him a couple times in the regular season, that seems like a long time ago. Not so much surprised, but what did you think of playing Florida after maybe having seen them a bit in the postseason, but actually playing against them?
Obviously, they've got some good players. They're quick. They forecheck well. They hang on to the puck well. They're a good team. I thought we had our looks in the game, but we couldn't capitalize.
You had a bearing down on those looks, Zach? You just got to bear down in front of it, and you had some, like you did have some wide open nets, and it's just a matter of bearing down.
Yeah, I mean, he made the saves on the wide open nets too, so it's not like we missed it. Yeah, listen, I mean, it happens.
Do you feel like you had some pucks really close to the line that didn't go in? You scored a lot of goals that usually do go in. Is this something you can study video and find an answer to, or is it just something that you got to keep pushing until the dam breaks?
No, you just, I mean, I've had a lot of chances in my career, and you just continue to get them, and eventually they're going to go in. And when they go in bunches. Sometimes you got an amazing look, it doesn't go in. Other times it hits your shin pad and goes in. Hockey is a funny game. The key is to not get frustrated. You just continue to play. You play your game, and that's why it's a 7-game series, and you go out there and you execute. I mean, I liked our game. We had our looks. Tonight we didn't score on them, but I mean, I'm pretty confident that our team's capable of scoring.
Zach, was that just a case of you made a couple of mistakes and they made you pay on a couple of mistakes? It wasn't like you made very many, but they made mistakes.
No, I mean, first and foremost, I thought Stu played well. I mean, I thought he gave us a chance in that game to come back. Yeah, they made a couple plays and they bear down. They scored on a couple nice plays. We didn't score on ours. It's 2-0, and they got the empty net. So, yeah, I mean, it was a close game.
How did you feel your power play looked overall?
Good. I thought we had looks. I mean, that's the key. I mean, you continue to get high quality looks, and you continue to stick with your process. And if we play like we did today, I'm very confident in our group.
Zach, you mentioned the process and dictating the pace. What else did you like about the way this unfolded?
Well, I didn't like the result, obviously, but I mean, I thought that we were able to skate. I mean, I think the key to our game is skating and forechecking and hanging on to pucks in the O-zone, making plays. I thought for lots of that game, we were the team that was pushing. Yeah, we didn't come out on top today.
You said it was a feeling out process, and it didn't look like that way to me in the first period. It looked like teams almost came out of cannon.
Yep.
Both the intensity that game started with.
100%. When I say feeling out process, I mean game ones of series are always unique because you don't know what to expect, right? You hear everything about what the team does, you watch video, but you haven't played them in months, right? I mean.
All right, there's Zach Hyman. Hockey's a funny game, Hyman said there, and yeah, it kind of trailed off at the end there. Bellezy's talking about not playing a team after a couple of months.
Yeah.
Now they kind of have an idea of what each other can bring to the table. Anything you'll take away from what Zach Hyman had to say there outside
There's
of
nothing that he said outside of what we've already said. And it's both McDavid and Hyman are both guys that are calm, cool, and collected. They understand what they brought to the table today. They understand what they did well. They understand that 2 mistakes ended up in the back of their net.
Correct.
And it wasn't a situation where Florida did something to get those goals as opposed to Edmonton making mistakes.
Right.
End of story. And I think you're going to see a really good game 2. I think you're going to see the Oilers capitalize on opportunities and chances.
Get some love from the hockey gods, as McDavid pointed out.
Yeah, they'll get some love. And you don't... Leon Draisaitl, Connor McDavid, Nugent Hopkins, Bouchard, Hyman, they're not going scoreless for very long.
No.
So you can't expect, and once again, I'll go back to the analytics of it.
Sure.
Because if that's what people want to do.
They do sometimes.
Well, what were the expected goals? when you have that many grade A opportunities. So I think it's going to come back 1-1. I think you're going to see a really good game, a solid game by the Oilers in game 2. So, trolls that are in the nasty chat,
you're getting annoyed by them, Art.
No, I think it's actually comical.
Oh, okay.
I actually kind of like it. It's funny. But get some rest, trolls. Go back under your bridges.
Trolls gonna troll.
Trolls are gonna troll.
Trolls are gonna troll.
And most of these guys are probably from Canada too. So, nice work, little trollies.
All right, text us 780-218-9999. Trolls or normal people, get into the nasty chat and hit that thumbs up button. We appreciate it. It is the GCL Diesel Oil Stream post-game show live on location at Hudsons Bourbon St. Tom Gazzola, Shawn Belle, Zachticum with you. GCL Diesel, proud suppliers of genuine OE products from manufacturers like Bosch, Denso, Garrett, Borg Warner, and Holset. Check them out, GCLDiesel.com. We're going to get to the big save of the game after we hear from Kris Knoblauch. I do want to rattle off a few texts here before we hear from the head coach. Let's go to this one out of Calgary. Said Oilers have been getting better as the series have gone on in this playoffs. They are already outplaying Florida, so that should bode well for Edmonton. You want to add to that, or you want to leave it be?
No, we're good.
Okay. Safety Bob checks in, says, yes, the Oilers lost, but really what else could they do? They dominated the game. Just couldn't get the bounce they needed. No way they lose game 2. Oilers in 6, and then adds Carrick for Perry. But he needs to bang and crash all game long, get the puck deep, hammer their D. They will cough it up. The Oilers have got to know they are the better team. They aren't going to lose again, outshooting the Panthers 2-1. No need to worry, Oilers fans. Oilers in 6. That comes in from Safety Bob. There was something about that I wanted to hit on. They need to bang and crash. Carrick in for Perry. Get the puck deep. Hammer their D. They will cough it up. It's the Oilers have to know they're the better team. Are they, though? Or are they respecting their foe? And it's a good mutual two-way street there.
I think it's a two-way street. They're both really good teams. And the Panthers are no slouches. And yes, the game was tilted tonight, and completely understand that. But they're no slouches. Like, the Panthers are a good hockey team. They just need to play the right way and limit the mistakes that they make. So you limit more opportunities, well, you have a better opportunity to win. And that's what playoffs are all about. Sometimes it's boring hockey. You go way back in the day, and you look at the New Jersey Devils when they won. You look at the Dallas Stars when they won.
Yeah,
there's some boring hockey,
yes,
but they didn't give up any chances. They didn't make mistakes. It was relatively mistake-free hockey. 14 turnovers in a playoff game is too much. If you're somewhere in the 7 to 8 range, you're probably okay. Well, you're probably on an average night. So
it was 14 for Edmonton, 10 for Florida, according to the off-ice officials tonight, which is always subjective.
It's always subjective. So at the end of the day, you feel like you're the better team. You did some really good things today. You're able to skate. You might actually be the faster team. That's what I saw in the game.
Okay.
I don't know about you, Tom, but
I like the way they played.
I thought they were fantastic tonight. I thought Florida, I'm not sure that was Florida's best game.
Agreed.
And I think you're going to see a bigger push. But this is a tight series. This is going to be a tight series.
I'm curious to see how Edmonton adapts. I'm curious to see what adjustments Florida tries to make, to be honest
100%.
with you. So we'll see come game number 2. Let's go to Barry on this one. Barry, I'm going to stack up your texts. Barry says, if they don't scratch CC, they're not serious about winning. And then Barry adds, let's not talk about positives from this game. Oilers played a near-perfect game and lost. I'm not sure what the rest of the series holds, but it has me worried. The Panthers look calm and composed no matter what the Oilers threw at them. It's very worrisome how this game went. Analytics don't matter at this time of year, boys. Only thing that matters is the final score from Barry.
Oh, well, never mind. We're not going to talk about analytics. The Oilers look calm, cool, and collected too.
I agree.
They didn't get frazzled. There were some jitters for sure in the first period where they made some kind of weird plays.
Yes.
But for the most part, they seem calm, cool, and collected too. They've got guys that are in the locker room that have won Stanley Cup or been to Stanley Cup Finals. They were able to calm guys down. This is why some of these players have been brought in to give that experience. That's why every team at the deadline is always looking for guys that have been there.
Yes.
Because it helps in the locker room. It helps to calm situations down. You've seen a maturation process from this Oiler group. They're different.
Yeah.
They're a different team now. And, yep, they lost 3-0. I get it. But they were calm, cool, and collected the whole time. And every single time Florida scored, they instantly pushed right back.
Okay, let's hear from head coach Kris Knoblauch, who is known for being calm, cool, and collected.
Won it. This game here, you probably played better than your opponents and lost it. Just a thought on the game, and how can you build on this performance moving forward, having dominated them territorially like you did tonight?
Well, I think we get carried away if we say dominated, but I thought overall we played a pretty good game. We had some chances to score goals. They didn't go in. We know that Florida probably, that wasn't their best game. Anticipate them to be much better the next one. I think they probably caught it off guard, just you guys talking about how good they were and we didn't have a chance in this series. But yeah, there's a lot of things I liked about our game, but we know that we're going to have to get even better.
Front row left, Mark.
Chris, when you have a team that has that volume of chances and can't convert, can you somehow coach them or video them over the top? Or is it just up to the high-end scorers you have to figure it out themselves and make a play?
There's definitely things that we can target. Every goalie has strengths and weaknesses. Every system that you play has strengths and weaknesses. So there are things that, as a coach, we can address. And there's also just the element of luck. That goes through the regular season playoffs. Sometimes pucks go in. Like we had Game 6, we had 2 goals on 10 shots. It was a good night for us. And it doesn't always work out that, you're going to score on 8% of your chances because that's what they say it should go in or whatever it is. But, I think there was a good share of opportunities for us to score. But there are things that we're going to have to look at and try and increase those chances.
Left side, Pierre.
Over here, Chris, in the door frame here. You talked this morning about hoping that the standard would be maintained and that the penalties that should be called. And certainly getting 3 power play chances is a different game for you guys than 1, as we've seen in these playoffs. You got your 3 and obviously didn't score, but a lot of looks. So what do you take from what Florida did on their PK and the amount of grade A looks you still got just in the finish?
I think, as I said earlier, every system has pros and cons. And whether it's 5-on-5, penalty kill, whatever it is, you have a system. And there's obviously strengths to it and weaknesses. Otherwise, everyone would be doing something. And, I think their pressure is good. And, as long as we're ready for it and can anticipate it, we can get some really good scoring chances. And I think a couple times we were able to do that. But I think it's just the execution about power play is just, finishing your play and making a pass. And, we did have some good chances. And, we saw it in the Dallas series where we didn't score early. And then we went, I believe, 4 for 5. And, there's always law of averages. I think we started 0-6. Do I think we were 0-6? Were we that bad? No. And do I think that we're that good to be 4-5? No. But it's just things over a long course of time, they'll work out. And, this is why we're playing a 7-game series and not a 1-game elimination.
Right side along the wall, Daniel.
Kris, do you think tonight's performance can be the blueprint to win this series?
I think it can start, but, there's things that we have to get better at. We can't just play this game and expect to win it because we know Florida's going to be better. And, there's some things I liked about it. There's things that we need to get a little bit better at.
Stay on the right side, Jim.
Kris, halfway through the game, Ekholm had only played 7 minutes and 40 seconds. Part of that, I guess, was Bouchard was on the power play a lot, but was he limited at all in terms of being perhaps hurt or something like that? Because that's very few minutes for him.
We like to keep the D pairs together And with Bush having the power plays, just we want to get those two together, and Bush has to take a little breather to get back, and because those power plays were getting up to close to 2 minutes, he's not going to come right back on the ice. So he just had to wait his turn.
Okay, sigh of relief. You look at the disparity in time on ice between Bouchard and Ekholm, and Jim Matheson, the longtime Oilers reporter and the Hall of Famer, asking. I'm sure he's happy to be back covering a Stanley Cup Final for sure. But if you're wondering, okay, well, what the heck is Knoblauch and Matheson talking about? Bouchard 27-17 time on ice. Ekholm 18-57. There was a lot of power play time, a lot of PK time there, and Edmonton had 6 minutes in power play time. Basically, power play one stayed on the entire time, so that kind of tilts the scales. Was pretty quick to say no, not an injury situation. Would think he's being sincere. I know he doesn't want to give away anything, but
it's just the ebbs and flows of the game. Sometimes you're on the power play a lot. Sometimes you're on the PK a lot. And hey, they had a bunch of power plays, so they're out there for 2 minutes. So that's where that extra time comes.
2 for 2 on the PK. The Oilers were 0 for 3 on the power play. All right, keep those texts coming in. 780-218-9999. I will read those. I've got a bunch I need to get to, a whole cluster, but we do need to take care of some business. It is the Christopher Boyle big save of the game. Zachticum's going to have that for you. It's always presented to you by Christopher Boyle, business owner, tax saver. Take care of your family with Christopher Boyle, an experienced advisor with over 17 years in the business. Safeguard yourself and your family with comprehensive coverage for tax-free benefits during hospitalization or a fractured or broken bone. You'll get benefits paid from day one of the incident, so you don't have to worry about the cost and loss of income due to hospitalization. Preserve your income and protect your paycheck by visiting www.christopherboyle.net. Zachticum, take it away, pal.
Yeah, first off, I just want to say I thought both goaltenders played really well. Sergei Bobrovsky, of course, stopped 32 of 32 total shots, played fantastic the entire game, and it's rough for a goaltender to let in the first shot, which Stuart Skinner did tonight and has done in 3 other games in the playoffs. So 4 games in the postseason has now let in the first shot on goal against, and I do have the video for this one, so as it plays, I'll just do some play-by-play of it. This save of the game presented by Christopher Boyle for tonight is to Stuart Skinner, and it's a chance from Taresenko blocked by Broberg, and the second and third opportunities there. Toe save had to be made by Stuart Skinner, and I thought that was his best save of the game. In close, off the crest, pops up, and he has to sprawl out to get it with the toe, and that is the big save of the game presented by Christopher Boyle for tonight for Stuart Skinner.
Razor sharp save coming at you from a razor sharp looking Zachticum tonight. Looking good, pal. I like it. Stepping up his game. Nicely done with the big save of the game presented by Christopher Boyle. I like that sequence from Stu Skinner. I like the block shot too, and Zachticum pointed it out. Like, guys going all out to protect the house, and Philip Broberg being one of them. And he got the block there, and then a couple of saves on Taresenko. Nicely done. Zachticum on the big save of the game, brought to you by Christopher Boyle. Of course, Stuart Skinner tonight, 15 saves on 17 shots. Are you laughing at nasty chats? You're laughing
at the trolls are out tonight.
You want to give it any
No,
any
I
time
don't
of
want
day?
to give it any time of day.
I look over and you're laughing.
It's like, it's comical to me. Like, they just keep rolling in. Just keep going, boys. We got a poster picture.
Oh, I love it. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, let's go to this one. It says, dogs and popcorn, good in the booth in Florida. Some guys should be up there on Monday. Ooh, harsh criticism. First text from that guy. No name on it. First time texter, appreciate that. It says, dogs and popcorn, good in the booth in Florida. Some guys should be up there on Monday. Woo-hoo. No holds bar in the Cup Final. That is spicy. Let's go to Jose. Jose says, was it just me or did others notice Draisaitl getting frustrated starting early in the second period? Didn't like the body language for it only being one game, in my humble opinion, from Jose. Did you catch anything from Leon there?
Leon's always like that, though.
He's pouty.
I'm not worried about it. This is probably the least upset he's been.
He's been upset quite a bit.
I thought he forced a few passes. He passed up some shots where he could have shot. But I mean, for the most part, he was there. He was going. So.
Okay. Hey, Jose, that's good observation.
Good. Yeah, very good.
And not the first to point that out too, I should say. Let's go to Taco. Taco texting in, says scoring on the first goal in Game 2 is going to be really important for the Oil. Confidence is really important. And if they fall behind, it will be detrimental. And these two teams in those situations, I want to point out, when the Oilers and the Panthers score first, Edmonton scoring the first goal, 10-4 this postseason. Florida improves to 8-2. When the opponent scores first in the postseason, Edmonton now 2-3. Florida is at 5-3 in that scenario. Let's go to Coach Mike. Says 25-5 have played so much together, but every time they get on the ice, it's like they've never met. Any chance Darnell comes in for CC? Coach Mike, you kind of hit on it a little bit earlier in the show, but yes or no? Simply put.
Yeah, he might.
He might. Okay, we'll find out tomorrow. The Oilers are on the ice 10 a.m. Mountain Time, noon Eastern, and we could have an indication if there are some lineup changes. Could a CC come out? Maybe. Are you taking out Broberg? I don't think so.
I don't think you're taking out Broberg.
No.
The only one that I'm probably looking at really taking out might be Cody CC.
Yeah.
But it goes back to the same conversation we had earlier where Florida's got speed, and when Desharnais played against Dallas, he had trouble with that speed.
Yes.
And
Fair.
so that the only thing I'm saying, okay, if you put him back in, is he going to have that same problem? Yes, it's a fast team,
there's a good
more
chance.
physical.
Yeah.
But you might be in the same boat at the end of the day.
Yes.
So I'm not sure that might be the best avenue, but we'll see. We'll see on Monday.
This one's directed to you. It's from Chris.
Okay.
Says to Bellezy, what did you think of the Oilers' physical effort? Do you think there is a need to improve this for Game 2?
Well, of course, there's always a need to improve it, but at the end of the day, the Oilers have never been the most physical team. They're physical when they need to be. So did they get pushed around today? Not really. Like, if you look at the scrums, it was pretty even. Like, there's points where the Oilers were the aggressors.
Mm-hmm.
So the Oilers are a team that wants to be a little bit more finesse. They rely on their skill. They don't necessarily want to get into I'm going to run you into the 15th row of the building game every single night. So I think that they have 35 hits today.
Yes.
That's plenty for the Oilers. It's not going to be the answer. Yeah, it's not going to be the answer that you want to hear, but that's a physical game for the Oilers. They're just not built like the Florida Panthers in the sense that they've got guys throughout their lineup that are going to they're trying to hurt you every time they take a run at you. Mm. And the thing is, Lomberg wasn't even in the lineup today.
Yeah, he's only played a handful of games. Yeah, he can be a menace out there for sure. And with the physical aspect, I will say this because I have firsthand knowledge of it, having witnessed it before me in different arenas around the NHL. Like the 63-35 disparity in the hit total when it comes to the official score sheet and stat sheet. I have seen off-ice officials change hits in favor of the home team. I have seen PR guys go up to off-ice officials and say, that's a hit. That's a hit. Why didn't you put that as a hit?
Yeah,
that wasn't like they literally sat there. Yeah,
on what the I guess the opinion of the judge, the scoring
subjective.
Judge, it's so subjective because I've seen guys blow guys up and be like, "Well, that's not a hit." Oh, okay. So in Edmonton, actually, it's when it was at Rexall, it was quite. You had to legitimately knock a guy off his feet for it to be a hit.
And that's something that gets talked about, too, by the way. I remember guys coming on the plane in a certain building and be like, they took away a face-off win from me. I had this many hits.
Yes.
So, and that's kind of why, like, when I read the game stats at the start of the show, I say, according to the off-ice officials or the off-ice officials, because it does change building to building. Remember Cal Clutterbuck? Were you there in Minnesota?
Cal used to run guys through the wall every shift.
But he had like 100 hits a game, according to the Minnesota off-ice officials.
100%. Because that's what Cal's game was. So they're like, okay, well, let's try to skew this a little bit more for Cal.
So, but to Florida's credit, they were physical.
Yeah, they definitely were.
But Edmonton didn't get run out of the building.
63 hits.
That's the only reason why. I'm not making an excuse or anything, but that's the only reason why I'm like, well, that's a lot for Florida, and I know they're physical. I thought Edmonton had some physical elements, and you said it. They're physical enough. They're physical when they need to be. Not necessarily the issue. It wasn't like they're getting their asses handed to them.
No, not at all. Not at all.
All right, let's go to Cal in the park, who was out here today. Says, hey, Bellezy, looking dapper tonight. Also gave Trev credit, so you guys killed it on the pregame show. Shout out to you too, Trev.
Yep,
for doing a great job, as well as yourself, Bellezy. You've had a busy day. We appreciate everything you've done today. And then Cal in the park follows up tonight, says, hey, guys, great game. Oilers lost by inches. Goalie Bob won the game. Great to see the Nasties and also spend time with the EST crew. I want to give a shout-out to we had like 3 or 4 tables here,
yes, we did,
which was great. I know how hard it was to get in here for the game at Hudson's on Bourbon Street. A huge thank you to Steve and Adam and the entire crew here. Jade C and Jade B helping us out all game long. And a great time. Unfortunately, if you're an Oiler fan, they did not get the result that was desired in Game 1, a 3-0 loss. Let's go to Babbage Stash before we go to the player of the game. Says Sam Bennett is a scumbag. He's going to be scumming it up all series. All the talk about Tkachuk being a PO and how to contain him when really Sam Bennett is the problem. Oil play like they win 9 out of 10, but I don't see Florida playing that bad again either, and they still get the W. This is going to be a long series. Babbage Stash says, killed it on the outside line today, Tommy. Look at Sharp filling in for Shockey. Thank you, Babbage Stash. Had a great time, and that's why I wasn't here for the pregame show, and YouTube Trev and Bellezy were excellent while I was still at Commonwealth Stadium. Appreciate it, Babbage Stash. Edmonton not getting the result on the football field and on the ice today. I didn't check in on the Riverhawks either. I didn't
see them.
Okay.
Did Florida really play bad?
No, I don't think so. Were they opportunistic? Yeah.
100%.
But I don't think they controlled the game that they're used to controlling. I think that's a fair statement.
Yep.
It's
going to be a long series.
I feel like it will be. I do agree with you wholeheartedly. Even the more I think about it, they need to score on Bobrovsky. And there's been a few texts that have said, get that first goal. Yeah. And we brought up the stats that highlight how important the first goal is for each team. Edmonton, what are they, 10-2? I have it here, 10-4 when scoring first. And then it's Florida that's now 8-2 when scoring first. So a huge swing in favor of either one of these teams when they get that first goal. And Stu Skinner, like Zachticum pointed out, allowing the first goal of the game on the first shot for the 4th time.
Yeah, when you have the lead, you're able to just play differently. You lock it down. It's hard chasing after those goals. And it puts a lot of pressure on the players. We talked about this back in the Vancouver series when they were rolling McDavid and Draisaitl up for 30 minutes. It is hard to put that, it's hard to do. And so when you're up, you're able to get more guys on the ice. You can roll your lines a little bit more.
Yep.
You can lock it down. You can collapse in the house in your D zone. And you're forcing teams to potentially have to change the way they play, even though we've already talked about the fact that you shouldn't change the way you play. But the Oilers got to get to the net a little bit more. I thought Bobrovsky saw a lot of the chances.
Okay.
So that would be my one critique.
You want to see some chaos.
They just got to get in front of his eyes a little bit more. And they just got to maybe shoot. The one that chance that I remember, and why I'm bringing this point up, is to get pucks off a little bit quicker. Ekholm had a grade A opportunity. He came right down the slot. He waited. Instead of just getting that puck off, he waited a split second too long, and Ekblad got his foot in the way, and it nullified the grade A opportunity. But if he shoots that thing probably 1 second earlier, maybe he's got a legitimate chance now.
Right.
So it's just get more pucks to the net, try to get traffic there. They were in and around the net, but it wasn't always consistently taking away the ice.
Well said, Bellezy. Well said. Okay, we have one more bit of audio we're going to hear for the Panthers. Then we'll get to the player of the game and then a couple more texts, and then we're going to say good night. It's been a long one today here in Edmonton. Ton of sports, and the Oilers and the Elks both falling in action tonight and this afternoon. Let's go to, as Zachticum put it, the Rat and Verhaeghe.
build up. There's a lot of pressure, Stanley Cup Final. What did it mean to not only score first, but score so early to maybe kind of ease the tension for you guys on the bench a bit?
Yeah, we've been waiting to get after it for a while, and I think obviously for our team getting the first one puts us the crowd in it and gets us a little more comfortable. We like playing with the lead, and I mean, we shut it down from there.
Front left, Mike.
Matthew, just how good was Bob tonight? And you know, everybody all week has been talking about his preparation, his work ethic, and all he does to prepare for these games, and for him to be off a week like all of you, but not let that affect his sharpness at all. How impressive was it?
Yeah, he's just been unreal. His preparation, like you said, is incredible. His work ethic, his character, like everything you want in a teammate, especially a goalie. He is everything. Very impressed with the way he played tonight. Especially early, but honestly, throughout the whole night, he was really good, and he was there for us.
Front right.
Matthew, Tim Reynolds with the AP. This franchise, ancient history is what it is, but this franchise has never led a final before, never led a finals game by more than one goal before tonight. It's just one, but how good does it feel compared to what you guys were fighting last year?
I mean, yeah, like you said, it's just one. Obviously, really wanted to take care of the first one, especially on home ice, and now just looking forward to game two. But I guess it feels good. Always feels good to win, but we've got a lot of things to clean up and to get better at. They played well. We played well enough to win. Just really grinded it out. Played really well defensively. I thought our defense did an unreal job tonight with just everything in their game. But yeah, it feels good to win the first one. But quick turnaround here in a couple days and try to get to game two.
Left side, second row.
Yeah, Matthew, sort of build upon that. You guys saying that you guys did just enough to win, just being able to execute on the chances you guys did have. Obviously, Edmonton, in terms of shot attempts, were able to, they had the majority of it, but for you guys to execute specifically that second goal,
yeah.
What did you see on that one and the Ira goal and just how you guys were able to set that up and execute when you guys did have chances?
Yeah, I think the second one, we had a little bit of room in the neutral zone to get through. Benny made a really, really good play and kind of chipping it into himself, knowing that he had a chance to get it first, and made a great play to throw it out front, and it was right to Erod, and great shot, and big goal. Obviously, I always want to get that next goal, but I just think coming in second period after we weren't too crazy about our first, to come out with a couple good shifts early and get that one, it was big.
All right, that was mostly Matthew Tkachuk, pretty much just Matthew Tkachuk, and Carter Verhaeghe sat there politely.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, he really did. 3-0 Tkachuk and Verhaeghe's Panthers defeat the Oilers in game one of the Stanley Cup Final. Let's go. Is it anything that we really need to hit on there?
Nope.
I think it's pretty straightforward and self-explanatory from Matthew Tkachuk. So with that, we go to the Damon Bunting RE/MAX Elite Player of the Game. Damon Bunting, consistent, top-producing realtor in Greater Edmonton and among Western Canadian RE/MAX realtors. He and his team would love to help you find that right home or make the move from your current home. Check him out, DamonBunting.com. Visit his Instagram at Damon Bunting Real Estate. Zachticum, all yours, pal.
Yeah, I mean, he played fantastic all night. Of course, there's really only one player that I could think of who played fantastic all night and was noticeable the entire game, all 60 minutes, and he played all 60 minutes because it's goaltender Sergei Bobrovsky, starter for the Florida Panthers, and he stopped 32 of 32, and right off the hop, he had a chance against him from Zach Hyman down low, and he's been great down low the entire playoffs for the Panthers, and has yet to let in a 5-hole shot this entire playoffs, so he's played good down low, made the stops that he had to, and got the shutout for his team. Fantastic for him, and he got better throughout the entire game. And it was very surprising that right at the start, he made that stop, and I'm like, okay, there's Sergei. He showed up to play tonight, and he got better and better throughout the night. So that's why he is the player of the game for Damon Bunting.
Zachticum. Showing his work.
Nice work, man.
Very good. Looking sharp, playing hard, playing well. Nicely
It's
done.
interesting you talk about the 5-hole goal because myself and Dusty were talking about it earlier. The way that he sets up in his stance, it almost looks like you can drive a truck through his 5-hole, but because he's so low to the ground, guys are looking at that. They're like, "Hey, we have an opportunity," but he's so quick getting down that
gone.
it just takes it away so quick, like so fast.
Yeah.
And so that could be part of it. Like it's so deceiving.
Yeah.
So the way that he plays, it's he's quick, he's agile, he's very very fluid in his movements. Laterally, he's fantastic. You got to elevate. You got to make a move east-west, and then you got to elevate the puck, or you just got to flat out take away his eyes. So nice work, Zachticum.
Digging in the corners, that Zachticum. Well done. That is the Damon Bunting Remax Elite Player of the Game. Couple texts as we get set to say goodnight. This one said, what's with the Oilers goalies over the last 8 years? First shot goal, jinx. Talbot, Koskinen, Skinner. I'll throw in Mike Smith as well. That plagued him at times in his tenure as a member of the Edmonton Oilers. I don't know. It's baffling.
Yeah.
It feels like it's something that's happened more around the league, too. I don't know if it's like a mindset thing with goalies or just teams with brain farts out of the gates. But it has been out, and it's happened a ton to Edmonton, and I fully recognize it. Let's go to CB Radio. Guys said, Oilers look good tonight. No lack of effort lost this game. Overall, they controlled everything tonight. Couple bad D plays, but Florida had some as well. Just didn't get the bounces. No one on the team sounds frazzled. Free the game, which is a good sign. Keep playing. CC gets the winner next game. How he always rolls. And then Paul says, is the watch party at Wem or White Hudson's on Monday? Sniping Ched, says Paul. I think it is at Hudson's White Ave. I am led to believe that that's where we are Monday night. We will confirm with you on Monday via social media and the Nielsen Show and the Hangout and Two Guys in a Goalie and Oil Stream and all the fantastic programming that we have on this fine station. All right, we had a busy day here at EST. We had the Green and Gold kickoff show. We had Hello Hockey. We had the Green and Gold postgame show. We had the Oil Stream pregame show, the Oil Stream postgame show. And now we conclude it all with some final thoughts. Sean, you're looking at this game number 2. What are you adjusting? What are you anticipating from the Edmonton Oilers?
Vary on your chances, limit the turnovers, keep playing the right way, get on the forecheck, be physical against the defense of the Florida Panthers, and I think you'll be fine. At the end of the day, you guys put up a ton of chances. They look fast, they look quick. Clean up your passage just a tad so they're a little bit more crisp. But outside of that, it was a good game. Expect a push from Florida because it will happen. But you don't need to change too much. Just make sure that you're capitalizing, do your thing. Troll dolls that are in the chat, thank you for making it humorous, but you better be smashing that like button if you're coming in here and doing your thing. If not, go back under your bridge.
And I'm kidding. I didn't say anything.
I love it.
But thank you.
Smash that like button.
Smash that like button. We appreciate it. Whether you like the Oilers or not, we don't care. Thank you for tuning in. Bellezy, great work today. You were a very, very busy guy, and you nailed it.
Thank you, sir.
So did Zachticum, so did YouTube, Trev, and Cass, as well as Jay Milne and Matthew Iwanek on the Green and Gold kickoff and post-game show. First one on EST as the Elks fall to the Riders, and then the Oilers fall to the Panthers. 3-0 in Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Final. They'll look to even up the series, doing all those things Bellezy just pointed out. We look forward to catching up with you Monday. Enjoy your Sunday, everyone. Mixing a water tonight for Shawn Belle and Zachticum. I'm Tom Gazzola saying thank you as always. Have yourselves a great night. See you Monday. Bye-bye.